Alrighty everybody, welcome back to Three Balls and a Puck. I'm your host Bradley Velasquez, and just real quick, with the NHL season about 6 or so hours away, I figured I would just go through and do my quick 2018-19 NHL prediction. If you watch the channel, you probably would have noticed probably about a month back or 3 weeks back, I did a Western Conference prediction video based on the Pacific and the Central Divisions, who I thought had the best chance of doing it. I never did an Eastern Conference video, so essentially I'm just going to collaborate that all into this one video here. And some things have changed because of preseason. Some teams have looked bad, some injuries or whatever it may be. So without further ado, if you can't see it, I'm going to go through the whole thing, so you just got to stay tuned. I'm going to start with the Western Conference and where I think the seeding is going to be. So in regards to the Pacific Division, I have the Sharks winning the division, and I think they're going to be the 2 seed. If you see a number next to it, if you can even see it on the camera there, that's where I believe they're going to be seeded in the playoffs this coming year. I have the Knights behind them as the 4 seed, and then I have the Kings behind that at the 6 seed. On to the Central, I have the Jets winning the division, being the best record in the Western Conference. I have the Predators being the 3rd seed, and these aren't in any particular order, as you can tell, because after that I have the Avalanche as the 5th seed. And if you notice, I have a 7 and 8 next to Blues and Stars, and that's because I believe 5 teams are going to make it out of the Central Division. Looking at the Ducks, the loss of Corey Perry, the Oilers just don't think that they're there at the blue line to be able to stop teams from scoring too much. And then, yeah, I think the Flames, I put a 9 next to them because I think that's the team that could get in. I think it's obviously going to be between the Flames and the Stars for that final spot. So if you look at the seeding here, I would have Jets against Stars. I think the Jets will beat them there. Then I have Preds against the Predators against the Avalanche. I think the Avalanche will beat them. Then I have Knights against the Kings. I believe the Knights will beat the Kings. Then I have these ones should actually be flipped. It's the same turnout, but I mean in regards to making a bracket, they should be flipped. But yeah, then I have the Sharks playing the Blues. I believe the Sharks will beat them. Then on into the next round, I have it Jets against the Avalanche. I think the Jets will win there. Knights against Sharks, and I think the Sharks will win there. And then I have the Sharks obviously beating the Winnipeg Jets there. After seeing how Connor Hellebuyck kind of fell apart later in the playoffs, I don't see, until he proves us otherwise, I don't think that's going to happen. And I just think San Jose, you added maybe the best defenseman in the league in Erik Karlsson. So I think the combination of their their top 6 defensive players and Martin Jones is just going to be really hard to get goals on them, which is why I have them representing. And on to the Eastern Conference. So in the Eastern Conference, a little bit different. I have 4 teams making it from each division. In regards to the Atlantic, I think the President's Trophy is going to be the Maple Leafs. Obviously, they added John Tavares. I think they'll have the best record and the most points in the league. Might be a curse, right? The President's Trophy curse. But anyways, the Maple Leafs, I have them as the number 1 seed. Then I would have the Lightning behind them as the number 3 seed. And then I have the Panthers as the 5th seed here. The Bruins I'm going to have as a wild card team, wild card 1 going in, which might not fare out well for them. But anyways, the Metropolitan Division, I don't see 5 teams coming out of it again because I feel like Florida is going to be that much better. And I think Boston is going to take a little bit of a step back. So I have the Capitals as a 2 seed. I think the Lightning will have a better record than the Capitals and more points, but because they're in the division behind the Maple Leafs, they can't get the 2 seed. It would have to come out of here. So the Capitals as the 2 seed. I have the Flyers as the 4 seed. Then I have the Penguins as the 6 seed. And then the Blue Jackets I'll have as the final team getting in. And the team I think that's just going to miss out, which might be different from most people, is not New Jersey, the Hurricanes. Obviously, I didn't write every team up here. And in regards to, like, if you are a Ducks fan, I think these 3 are going to be really close, battling out for that 8th seed with the Stars. But I just feel like there's too much talent on the Stars, and I don't see how the Avalanche don't get in, especially the way they played in the second half. But anyways, The number 1 seed, I would have the Leafs against the Blue Jackets. I'm going to have, I didn't even write it here because I guess it's not necessary. I would have the Leafs beating them there. Let me write that in real quick. I have the Maple Leafs beating the Jackets, the Blue Jackets that is. Then I have the Tampa Bay Lightning beating the Florida Panthers. And then I have the Philadelphia Flyers beating the Pittsburgh Penguins. And then I have the Washington Capitals beating the Boston Bruins. On to the second round of the Eastern Conference, I'd have the Lightning against the Maple Leafs, and I'd have the Maple Leafs winning. I'd have the Flyers against the Capitals, I'd have the Flyers winning. And then I'd have Maple Leafs against Flyers, which would be an amazing Eastern Conference final. A lot of scoring, I would assume, and I would go with the Philadelphia Flyers there. Now in the Stanley Cup, I have Sharks, Flyers. This could go. It could either be one of the greatest Stanley Cups we've ever seen. Maybe it's just the one I want to see. Flyers can put up points, and I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think San Jose is going to be hard to score on. But because it feels like Philadelphia has always got like a goaltending controversy, and the goaltending always seems to like not be very good, I went with the San Jose Sharks to be your 2018-19 Stanley Cup champions. I wanted to get this video out, like I mentioned, because we are 5 to 6 hours away from the puck dropping here. I'm on the West Coast, so it starts at, I believe, 4 p.m. today, Pacific time. But yeah, I know I've been lagging on some of the videos. We've been real busy. We've had people changing jobs and, football season going, so Sundays are completely taken up just watching football. We've thought about live streaming it, but we'll probably wait until the future, maybe next year we'll do something like that when we have more followers or more subscriptions and stuff like that. I want to make sure people are actually watching and I'm not just wasting my time. But yeah, that's my 2018 NHL season predictions as well as your Stanley Cup prediction. If you like this video, please hit like. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel, and if you just want to see more content like this. Trying to get out as much content as I can, but like I said, we're all busy. We all have daily lives and things that we have to do. But yeah, if you didn't like the video and you can barely see the writing and my writing's ugly, then hit the dislike button. No offense there. And other than that, I've been Bradley Velasquez. You've been great, and this has been another episode of 3 Balls in a Puck. Bye.